Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So today I'd like to go over YMAX versus ULTY because I am actually going onto a Twitter space today hosted by the Ambassador Juan, and I'm debating with Max Convexity about these two ETFs to see which one comes on top. So these funds are actually kind of funny for me because YMAX I had a bad impression of when it first came out. My argument was, well, I can just own all of the single stocks myself and it'll be less expensive. And then if I want to weigh a single stock more than another stock, then I have the freedom to do that. But now I actually like it a lot and I'm invested in it a lot in my taxable account. ULTY, on the other hand, I really love from the beginning. I think it's a great experiment. I love that the fund managers can choose the stocks that are in the fund and just give us the highest return possible. But I was in it until April and I've just kind of cooled my opinion on it. And a part of that is also I keep seeing a lot of people, like it's getting hyped a lot now because it's doing well now. And that just, like the alarm bells go off, like, oh no, this is getting hyped. And so it's gonna crash hard. But it's going to continue doing, like both of these funds are going to do well in a bull market. And we're in a bull market right now. So you may as well get while the getting's good, right? Right. So one of the categories is assets under management, and a lot of people are believing in ULTY. They have 1.83 billion, while YMAX is a little further behind at 994 million. We also have the expenses. So YMAX is at 1.28% and ULTY is at 1.4. So YMAX kind of edges out ULTY in that respect. And then if you talk about total returns, with ULTY, they've had so many prospectus changes that you can't really go from the beginning of time because it's not even the same fund, really. So, but if you do go from the beginning of time, YMAX, you would have $12,000, and with ULTY, you would have almost $11,000 in total returns. But if you're just talking about from the beginning of the year, which is after when they had their major prospectus change, ULTY is at just over $11,000 and YMAX is just under $11,000. So to me, it comes down to the risk versus reward. That's going to be the category that I think we're going to have the most debate over, because ULTY, they are not mandated to be in any particular fund, which means they can get in and out of positions that are having momentum, and like they can do whatever they want, but it could also lead to over trading. And sometimes when managers try to overtrade, they actually have less of a total return. And YMAX is just, it's a simpler strategy. And since they are weighted so much in tech and crypto and AI, it does have a respectable amount of implied volatility, so it pays. And both of these have been paying pretty consistently. Both of these have had pretty good NAV stability, at least lately, since April. So I would change things with both of these. Well, I mean, the only thing with ULTY is just that they're not forced to hold a stock for a minimum amount of time. But so, and I know that with ULTY, they have funds, stocks in their companies that they have a good implied volatility and good trading volume, but sometimes they don't have quite the volume to become their own single stock ticker. So I think I like the new ULTY. It's just that I feel like with the amount of margin that I have in my taxable account, that is just not appropriate for my risk tolerance for me to be an ULTY right now, but I'll probably be an ULTY in the future. And then YMAX suffers from just, they have funds there that are underperforming and they don't have a way to get rid of them from the fund, and they're not as agile with taking advantage of new momentum in the market. So I like them both. And there is another category, just your wild card. And for me, I'm going to choose WPAY. This is not out yet. It's from Roundhill. They just filed for this last month. It is a weekly pair, and it is their fund of funds, so their answer to YMAX. And the reason why I will like this is that it's based off of all of their weekly pays, which are 1.2x leverage. So WePay will not be a leverage fund, but it'll be based off of leverage funds. So it'll have probably a higher margin maintenance than YMAX, probably around the same margin maintenance, on Robinhood at least, that ULTY has. And then it pays weekly, and Roundhill does not have as many funds as YieldMax out, and they're more careful about which ones that they do publish. So I think WPAY will actually edge out YMAX because it'll probably have a higher distribution and there'll be less funds in it, at least initially. And so I think they'll just have a higher distribution and be more NAV stable, at least in the bull market, because it's based off of 1.2% leverage. It'll fall harder when there's a dip, but we're getting paid weekly. So hopefully this pays on a different day besides Friday, because YMAX and ULTY both pay on Friday. If they would pay on different days, I think, I'd be really happy if we had like a YMAX, ULTY, and WPAY as like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday declarations and getting paid like Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, something like that. Like that would be really great. So, I think that WPAY is going to be, and it was filed last month, and I think that you have to wait 90 days. So we'll have to wait until like September, October to see if they actually launch it, because I don't want to be endlessly talking about WePay and them just not issue it and it be launched. So we'll see if Roundhill is timely with their WPAY, but it is now on my radar. Also, thank you, Frederick, for emailing me this information, because I didn't know about this before yesterday. So they filed this on June 20th, and I think that it's good that, because a lot of these single stock ETFs, they are momentum plays. And when momentum begets momentum, so they will have momentum for a while, but then when they don't have the momentum, you want to be in the next thing that has momentum. But we only have so much money, and I'm a buy and hold person, so I'm not going to take my money out of ULTY and go into the next thing that has momentum, because that's how you lose a lot of money. So I think the majority, if I wanted a well-balanced portfolio, it would be a lot of it into YMAX and maybe a smaller portion into Misty. So my preference right now is YMAX, but I understand the hype and why people are very interested in ULTY. I think it is a very interesting experiment. I'm also looking forward to WPAY. So anyways, are you excited about WePay? And which is your favorite, YMAX or ULTY? And I'll talk to you later. Bye.